Yo, listen, so, you know the geezer Adiola was rolling with, yeah? Apparently, my man thinks his sneak boat turned into cats and that, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm joking, but okay, basically, Arrdee has revealed that he's on some Harry Potter shit, innit? Like, nah, so basically, in an interview with the beautiful Zeze Millz, Arrdee revealed that, well, there's this clip circulating where he basically said that his mum practices witchcraft, but he also said, oh, I know they're gonna snip this up and say like a bang judge, and obviously he's got a bit of stick for that because he's trying to like say like, well, his mum does not judge but udge, like you know, like she does the gentrified version of judge, the white version of it, you know what I mean? And yeah,
that's
so I just
not
want
what he's saying. Don't twist it.
Okay, what did he say? Because I don't.
Sorry.
Basically, it's because you're ignorant and you don't know about it. But basically, this is not because I know this, but because I watch Beverly Housewives, so Real Housewives and Beverly Hills.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch as well,
So
yeah?
basically, no. Right. Apparently, in their world, there's such a thing as a good witch. So with
you messed up the intro already. All right, cool. So
no. With black magic or whatever you call it,
Lani,
in Africa.
Okay.
That's bad magic.
Lani, you've basically skipped foreplay. I was literally just trying to get us in there, and you've just spat on it and whammed it in.
But you said something untrue.
No, because basically, if you watch the clip, he literally bar for bar says, "My mum practices witchcraft, but no, not like judge. I know they're gonna chop it up and say my mum does judge." Those are his words, bar for bar.
But what he meant is that his mum does the good one.
That's how we're going to get into the conversation. Lani, have you never mixed before beating before? Listen, we're basically just saying, I'm setting the premise. This is why we're talking about it.
Okay.
So basically, Arrdee said that, and people gave him stick in the comments because they're like, "Oh, so what are you trying to say? Your judge is different to our judge."
Yeah.
So now you can now make your point and say, "I think I get what he was coming from." Back to you, Lani.
Well, okay, you guys have to.
You just made man take the condom off, lick you and start again.
You guys have to educate me because what do you call it? The black magic they do in Africa.
Lani, sorry, where are you from?
Yeah, but what's it called?
What's it called in your country?
Lani? I'm not interested in it. So I'm asking what's the name?
Okay, so in Nigeria we say juju. In Haiti they call it voodoo.
So you guys have to educate me.
In Jamaica they call it obia.
Okay, cool. I'm asking a question. Is there good juju? I'm telling you that there's good witches. So I'm asking, is there good juju?
My understanding of it and how I've interpreted it, it's all energies and spirituality, right? So it's like Haitian people. Yeah. Haitian people are very spiritual.
Voodoo
and
some call it voodoo, some don't.
But I understand the whole judge thing as spirituality energies, right? And like I said, Haitian people, they're very spiritual. Nigerian people, very spiritual. Indian people, very spiritual. Chinese people, very spiritual. So there's spirituality all over this world. And it's very good that we're talking about this because it taps into sort of my beliefs, to be honest with you. Like, I practice as a Muslim, and a lot of people will refer to me as a Muslim, right? But I look at faith in a way of spirituality, right? So Christianity is a practice, Islam is a practice, whatever anybody else does is all practices, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to do this. Do you get what I'm saying to you? That's one thing. The other thing is, as a Nigerian and as somebody that is very connected with my culture, even my surname, my name is Arrdee. It is a very spiritual surname. Do you get what I'm saying? As Africans, and especially where I'm from in Nigeria, I'm from Ile-Ife. Do you get what I'm saying to you? It is a spiritual home of black people. Not even just Yorubas, it's a spiritual home of black people. Again, to each his own belief. Do you get what I'm saying to you? What I didn't like about what he said is the fact that he tried to, again, let me not speak for a man, but it seemed to me he tried to make it seem like as if Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Charmed, all of that kind of bollocks is all right. Harry Potter, it's good witchcraft, but juju, black people's witchcraft, it's a next thing.
I don't think he meant it like that. I'm not gonna
lie.
I'm not speaking for him. I'm not speaking for him, but again, I can only interpret it.
Yeah, that's how it's come across.
Not in a judge way. What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, like to say, oh, just...
No.
I'm gonna land quickly. I'm gonna land. And that's why I said I can't speak for him, man, but I can only go based on how I'm interpreting.
Yeah, you heard it and how you felt, yeah.
And this is a big thing as well within our community and culture, because a lot of black people associate our spiritualities with negativity. You've grown up knowing about Zeus, Athena, all these kind of Greek mythologies. You know what I'm saying? And you willingly accept them.
But
when
they
we're
make
talking
believe.
about
Shango.
regardless, when
Zeus
we're
is
talking
proper
about
make-believe.
Shango, when we're talking about Ududua, when we're
But
talking
is he
about
make
people-
believe?
No,
I'm asking.
Hold on.
This
Zeus
no,
is make believe. I'm just asking, is this a real thing or is it
no,
make
no, no.
believe?
These, it's not
Yes,
make
it
believe.
is. Zeus is not someone
Greek
that
mythology,
existed.
didn't they used to believe in my man?
Nah, man.
My point is, right, people have these beliefs, right? But when it comes to black people, it's almost like it's diminished, especially when it comes from a spiritual point. And I think it's also a turning point with regards to how the world was shaped, because a lot of religion and practice was pushed in African, Asian parts of the world, right, where these people could naturally, spiritually evolve. It's not a coincidence. China don't do no Christianity stuff,
Romans believe in
and they have a
Zeus.
different catalog.
believed in Zeus.
They have a different way and belief system. Do you get what I'm saying? to you? It's not a coincidence that India have a different belief system. Why is it just only in Africa that we have Muslims, Christians, and spirituality is
Totally
juju?
agree with you.
Straight away. It's like we
You
don't
get
even
what I'm
have a
saying
good
to you?
one.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as, you know what, we have our own spirituality and a way of actually just
It's because we're always
connecting with the
we're
earth or
always
whatever.
known to use voodoo, juju, whatever,
Apparently it's just
to
negative.
do something bad to someone.
Cool, and that's
so that's
and-
why.
and sorry, go on.
So that's why I think ours is always looked at as negative. But like, my mum has like her elders that say what, like recently my sister was going for a job. Mum said, "Oh, I'm gonna tell the aunties to pray for you." To me, I still think that's kind of dodgy, but because I'm like, what do you mean pray? Can't you just pray? Like, can't we just pray normal? But she'll be like, no, they're gonna do their own little special prayer. My sister did get the job, by the way, but that could be deemed as good job, good judge. I mean, good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it just depends. Like, we always focus it on our side because we do a lot of bad to people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Trying to steal someone's husband, they'll do judge. Trying to, you know.
Oh, that's why it's promoted.
But
And then-
guys-
That's how it's promoted. That's
You-
why we always.
You guys, I feel
sorry,
like you're
before you carry on here
romanticising
quickly.
it
Sorry, quickly.
Because you're not talking about spells. You're not talking about the period
and
blood
this
shit.
and this is why I was going on to you. Like,
I'm not talking about praying. I'm talking about getting physical objects together, burning shit, going like
how many
this,
people? How
crystal-
No,
many
but I
people-
burn sage.
I was just about to say, how many
I
people
burn sage in my house.
No, I know, because I feel like you're talking about you're kind of talking about religion. You're romanticizing it. I'm talking about people who take a piece of your hair, take a piece of your skin.
Wait,
Yeah,
let's
that's
finish.
bad.
Hold on,
Come on.
hold on, hold on, hold
I
on,
don't think
hold
any
on.
good's coming from
No,
that.
chill.
about
Wait,
bad
what's your
stuff.
point? What's your point?
Because I feel like he's talking about the romantic version when you're spiritual.
No,
you're
I'm not
good.
sure. Wait, let her go on, please. I want to hear what you're saying.
Okay, when it comes to witchcraft and voodoo and juju, we're talking about the bad and the good of the people that use. I'm not talking about praying to God. I'm talking about people who go out of their way to do more, get skin, hair, and
But
and-
again,
and
this goes back to
shrines and-
fundamentally.
No, no,
Hold on,
why-
sorry.
who said we're talking
Hold
about?
on, this goes
Because
back to
Arrdee's mom's a bitch.
Lani. This goes back to what your
Why are you
actual.
doing that face? Do you know about witchcraft?
Hold on. You're the one who said you don't know nothing about African
I
stuff
know- I
1
know
second
some
ago.
of
Now
what-
you know
I know-
Zeus. Now you know everything. So how about this? Yeah. Let me
I know some
Let me
stuff.
make
I
my
know some
point. Yeah.
stuff.
Let me answer my. Let me
I
answer.
know
Let me
some
let,
stuff.
let me give my point. Yeah. I actually agree with you to a certain degree. Just to take it back to Arrdee. I think the reason why Arrdee said what he said the way he said it is because he is probably been influenced the same way a lot of us have been influenced. When a lot of, I don't even like
Fair.
saying black people no more. I'm so bored of this. But when a
Yeah,
lot of us
fair.
talk about those actually juju, voodoo, whatever, OBR, it's never said in a positive
Never.
context. It's never used. It's always like, oh, you bang judge, sneak ball turn into a cat.
again-
No, but generally speaking here, even in Nige, if you talk about
yeah.
juju, people are, you're
yeah.
wait, chill, sorry.
Go on.
You're demonic. People see, when you say about 21 Savage in an interview, calmly said, yeah, my mum made a sacrifice when he had the immigration issue. And everyone was like, what? So my point is, I agree with you. With the way even Nigerian films like Nollywood, anyone that bangs judge in a Nollywood film, they'll turn into cat, snake, dog. It's never nothing good. That
They
comes
don't even
from
look
it.
good, the witch
but
person.
in the movies. So what I'm saying is, because of the way it's promoted, it's just like having black kids promoted in a certain way. Now you look negative. And da-da-da. It's about the media, how our media controls the narrative. So whereas when you watch Harry Potter, there's good witches, there's bad witches, there's Snape, there's Dumbledore, there's
But again, it's perfect to what you just said. It's romanticized.
yes.
No, they show both.
Again,
The difference
listen.
is they show both.
I'm
they
still
show the
explaining.
bad.
You're not listening to me.
What?
I'm saying to you is, even in the bad, it's
Yeah.
romanticized. It's a nice kind of bad.
Yeah.
The bad guy in Harry Potter is cool. Voldemort is still
What was he
cool.
do? What did he
He's
do?
not
What's
cool.
the worst thing he did?
But what's the worst thing that he did? You hardly even got to see
they
him.
have
though.
Trying to kill Harry Potter, he killed
They
his
have
mum
snakes
and dad.
and serpents. They
My point
they still
is,
think they're
my
evil.
point is, the bad guys are still made to look
cool.
human. They're still
Yeah.
made to look cool. They're still acceptable
movie.
in terms of how they portray them. With Africans, and I'm African, so I can only speak about Africans. And because of my culture and my beliefs personally, this is why this one slightly touches me. Like, we are so quick to talk about ourselves in a way that is so not positive. And it's like, if you take a second to actually look at it on the overall spectrum and say to yourself, right, yes, we are spiritual people, probably more spiritual than most people on this planet, right? If we start actually tapping into that, where does that lead you? Where does that take you? There's a lot of people that bun sage. There's a lot of people in the Americans, prime example, South America, that practice
Day of the Dead, Mexicans,
the way
Aztecs,
Yorubas practice spirituality and so-called religious practices, how they did from their inceptions.
Lucas, tag me, please. Tag me.
In a sec, please, my bro.
Cool.
Like, my point that I'm trying to get at is that we're too negative with this whole, Judge Obi and stuff. Like, God comes in many shapes, forms, and ways, in my opinion. God is part of your life experience, right? You can meet somebody and God speak through that person. Do you get what I'm saying to you? The things that you do, God can manifest through
why
that thing.
is God connected to this conversation? This is
because it's spirituality.
I'm asking a question.
These things are tapped into a power source.
I'm asking a question.
Literally asked the
Because
question.
but I don't understand. I don't understand where he's going with it. So can I ask him?
Go on.
Or not?
No, go on.
Gosh.
That's 2 questions.
I
now.
thought we were talking. I never knew that Voodoo. How do you say it?
Juju.
I'm saying Juju.
Juju
Can I
on
just
the
say Juju?
beats.
Don't laugh at me. I'm just gonna call it Juju. Yeah,
Juju.
I thought this had nothing to do with God. So I'm so confused with why you're talking
When you
about
get wireless, where
God.
does your wireless come from?
What do you mean?
When you get wireless, you just get wireless connection.
O2.
Is there
How
not a
is
rotor?
God connected to you?
Do you get what I'm saying? Is there not a base
How
for
is
which
God-
your
I
connection
get it.
is?
How is God connected to you?
No,
And
yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
want
trying to
to.
explain.
I get what
God
you're
is
saying.
the power source of everything. Good, bad. God is God, right? God is the seer of all things, positive, negative, whatever. God knows all, right? All of this, right? He gives us free
But
will.
God
That's
is-
why we're here to live and
But
even
God
make
is
our
good.
ways.
How is Juju good?
Okay, stop. Donnie,
I don't see the
you're the problem. You're
connection.
derailing what he's saying. What Lucas is saying. Okay, I'm going to speak for Lucas, and I might be wrong, but I'm just all I would say is Lucas is giving his interpretation. He's saying that I understand his logic. What he's saying is that in all the different practices across the world, we're all talking about the same source, just in our different interpretations. So
Different cultures,
Yeah,
But we
different
all-
ways that you
But
interpret
everyone
it.
in the world,
Hear
but
me out.
wait,
No,
wait,
everyone in the world doesn't believe in God.
But a lot of people in the world believe God is good. Now we're talking about the dark side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
what.
I'm talking about the dark
Okay,
side.
but
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying,
about God. I'm confused.
Okay, let me try and clear it up for you. We might be talking about the dark side, but some people might believe God does good and bad. That's why some atheists will be like, oh, God, if God is so good, why does God let children
But do you
die?
actually
Why does-
believe there's good? Let's get back to Arrdee. Do you
Yeah, that's what
believe
I'm
like
trying
there's good,
That's
good
what I wanna
judge?
ask you.
That's what
And
I'm
that's the thing.
That's what-
That's why I'm trying to not use the word judge. Because
Okay, let's try and
it's
find another
created-
word for it.
No.
What word did he
Judge.
use?
No.
What word did he use?
So,
I
I'm
wanna-
not saying I'm not trying to use the word judge because judge is a bad word or because Arrdee. Judge, it puts a perception in your head, which is
Yeah,
why
that's
I'm
why I
trying
want to
not
know what
use
word
it.
he used.
Do you
What
understand
word
what
did
I'm
he
saying
use
to
when
you?
he
His mum
described
does
it?
witchcraft, and he goes not like judge though. I don't
And
want to
that's
say
what
that I'm
judge
saying
is bad.
Even the word
For fuck's
witchcraft
sake,
doesn't sit well with me.
Can I land
No,
with a
but
point? And then
I didn't finish.
I was
I wanna
talking
talk
and
about
I
this
just
as
wanted
well.
to
Like,
land.
I wanna
Yeah,
say
that's
something.
all.
This is a good
Like,
topic.
Judge, for me, and the reason why I'm not using the word is because as soon as we say judge, we think bad,
Negative,
negative
same,
is
scared,
witchcraft,
I'm
right?
sure.
Which is why I said spirituality and I'm connecting it to God, right? God, bad, good. God is the seer of all, whatever. Spirituality for me is it can go either way. Some people can get so spiritual that they lose sight of what it is with regards to God and they become negative. You get emotional, right? So if you don't have a practice that keeps you in line, you can, based on your emotions, spiritually wish bad on somebody because they nicked your man.
Yeah.
Because you're emotional in that sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
But then people say God punish you.
But
Again,
but
people get
Does God
emotional.
have anything to do with the reason I'm saying
I know
this?
your
I don't know
question.
how this is not making sense.
We're having a few
God has
different.
No, but I
nothing
get
to
why
do
she's
with
confused.
Judge.
I actually get why
talking
she's
about
confused.
God has nothing to do with judge.
We're having a
And
few
that's
Because
why
everyone-
that's why I
We're
explained
talking about
to you.
judge.
We keep referring to the word judge. In your mind,
already
you have a
thinking
negative
negative.
perception.
But remember,
of what
we are
the word
speaking on
judge
good.
is.
No, I hear what Lonnie's saying,
We're talking about judge.
Lonnie, can I answer? Can I?
God is good. Cool, we know that.
So is judge bad?
I'm asking you.
Lonnie,
And that is what I'm trying to explain
You're
to you.
talking about God though.
Lonnie, can I?
Tell me about
Yes,
judge.
please. I beg you, let me get
Tell
in
me
here.
about
Do you understand what I'm
judge.
saying?
I don't
Lucas,
understand what
let me
you're
have this moment
Can we
here,
talk about, okay, can you explain to me about actual judge and not God? Don't talk about God.
Right, okay.
Tell
Can I have
me
a moment,
about
please?
good judge. Tell me about spells they do in judge that are
Right.
good. That's what I want to know
Judge,
about.
spells, witchcraft, all of these things are tapped to a source, which is why I'm mentioning God, right? Now, if God is the source, the power, whatever, whether you're tapping into
have your
good
own
or
different
bad, you have your
languages.
own
Yeah,
interpretation
yeah,
of whatever
yeah.
you want to do with it, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, the fact that we're referring to judge and thinking so negatively with it,
But you're not asking my question. I'm asking you about good judge in particular. Do you know a good people have that use judge, not God?
Yeah.
Do you know people
Like
that
someone
use
give you an example
judge?
of somebody doing
I'm-
good
that's what
judge
I'm
for
trying to-
someone.
that's what I'm trying to
Someone
say.
give me an example of good judge.
you keep breaking me up. That's
Okay,
what I'm
you
trying to
can talk, but
explain
I'm just
to
telling
you.
you that I don't understand.
Right.
Because you keep talking about God.
I'm Nigerian, yeah. You have babalawos in Yoruba, right?
Yeah.
Which is more time or not, the babalawo is a bad babalawo, which is
They depicted that way.
herbalist,
Yeah.
witch doctor,
Are they
whatever you
seen
want to
as
see.
Yeah,
They're
depicted
Are they
that
seen
way.
as
You know what
good
I'm saying?
judge or bad judge?
They're seen as bad when
Mostly
you say
bad.
babalawo anyway.
And why would somebody go there?
For whatever reasons, want to get rich,
Money,
want to
baby,
sacrifice.
God has nothing to do with judge.
That's because that's how you think.
But
And I'm trying to explain to
Yeah.
you
I don't
how
believe
it's
it
tied.
does. I don't believe it
Right,
does.
and that's fine, but then don't argue with me.
Yeah.
That's your personal belief. Let me finish talking.
Okay. I
He's
just
gonna
don't
bang
believe
judge
it.
on you, boy. Alakadocious.
God is
I'm not convincing you to believe it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
saying
telling you
my
how
opinion.
I understand it. That's all. So just
But
listen.
when I'm at church, they don't talk about
Jesus
judge.
Lord.
So
Alright,
what's
cool.
good?
Because they
I beg you,
wouldn't.
please, let me get involved there.
No,
Let me
but they
just-
talk about Satan.
No, but they do talk about
They
judge.
talk
You know
about
what I'm saying?
They do
No,
it
okay,
in
but
a
think
weird
about
way.
this here. In the Bible, yeah. Sorry, let me not quote Bible too tough, please.
Can I finish
please.
what I'm saying, please?
Bro, you've been
Because
two seconds.
you-
Alright, go
you
on.
see what I'm
Finish,
dealing
go
with.
ahead,
No,
go ahead,
get
go
your
ahead,
point
go
across.
ahead,
Right.
go ahead.
What I was saying was there's babalawos in Yoruba, and I'm going to use my culture and how I
does
understand
babalawo
it.
mean?
Babalawo, witch doctor, is what they will refer to as a babalawo,
Yes.
and usually 9 times out of 10 it's negative.
Yes.
Right? In also the same context, there's an owl
Yeah.
in Yoruba, right? And more time the owl is always wearing white,
Yeah.
and it's a positive
Talcum powder
connotation
on his
it.
face as well.
So which is why I can understand you don't understand it, but
Yeah.
I do because I've grown up, I've seen and understood it. To
I
be like
understand
this.
bad judge. So
Now,
I do actually.
when you have a babalawo and you have an owl, the owl is always the person that does the good judge,
Yeah.
if you want to refer to it as that, right?
Yeah.
The babalawo is the person that does the bad judge,
Yeah.
right? If you want to refer to it as that. Now, my only problem is in Western civilization, we have Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Charmed, so many different renditions of good judge, bad judge, but it's depicted in a very nice way
they're always fighting
for
the
you
bad
to
guys, though.
understand it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying
Yeah.
to you? With Africans, no matter how
all bad.
close you are to your spirituality, especially when I'm talking about, and that's why I mentioned things like Ile-Ife, things that we're Omo Odudua, right? These things are spiritual things that are part of our heritage. And we miss sight of that because we have this judge thing in our heads,
Cool, this is
which is
why
what I was trying to explain. Not all judge is bad judge. Some is tapped into your culture.
That's what I was asking
Some
you.
is tapped into your heritage. Some is tapped into your lineage, right? It's what your peoples used to do back when
Yeah,
they
bro,
were
listen,
developing or
I wanna
whatever.
get
I
involved,
wanted
yeah.
to-
No,
I
no,
hear
sorry,
him.
sorry, you cut me
I
off
hear
bare
him,
times.
but
I'm going to need to speak. I'm sorry, I'm so
I'm not
sorry.
cutting off.
You guys
I'm
have had a
just trying to
conversation. Just let me say
explain.
one thing. Yeah, sorry,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
wanted an
Lani.
example. I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
an
what I
example.
want someone
You
to
were
say.
romantic. I felt like you were using nice words, but I wanted an example. I wanted
Like,
you to tell
we're
me.
moving on from that
of
point.
a-
I can't even
of-
lie. Let's
of-
move on
of-
to
No, I also want to know,
Second
like in
Like
Nigeria,
somebody saved
can
someone's
you?
mum.
Is
Do you
it
get it?
okay to
Asking.
go
Yeah,
to
all
the
right,
good
listen,
one?
Denise, yeah,
Say
this is
that
what I'm
again?
trying to say.
Is it okay to go to the good one?
Right, yeah. So for
And
example,
why would you go to that?
So for
my
example,
God.
you have,
Sorry.
you have, sorry, yeah, because you asked the question, sorry.
Oh
you have
my God, fam. What's
kings
going on?
who are part of a monarchy system, i.e. the Oni of Ife, the Awujale of Ijebu, the Alafin of Oyo. These people also have people that are owls and spiritualists. That remember, Christianity is a Western concept, right?
I want to talk about that.
These things are so what our culture is and what we've developed to become is influenced by colonialism and slavery.
Cool.
Do you
I wanna
understand?
touch
So
on
there's also very spiritual contexts within our culture that is singly identifying with where we've come from. And I'm giving you a very specific part of Nigeria, Yoruba people, in terms of that lineage and how it is seen. It's not necessarily in direct lines with the practices of Christianity. It's not necessarily in direct lines with the practices of Islam. But it doesn't mean that it's bad. For example, they might do a festival in Ife
Can we do a
and they
part two?
kill chickens because it's what they do as a spiritual whatever. Now, you hearing that, animal rights,
get
people might think, what
scared,
the
you
fuck,
get
that's a judge
scared.
thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
people that understand their culture and where they're from and that part of the world, it's the norm. It's what it is. And that's why I use places like China, India, because when these people do their things that is associated with them, we don't have such a hoo-ha
They
and
do,
fuss
though.
about it.
They do though. Sorry. We're gonna move on. I want to say one point. Obviously you don't have to agree with me. I completely disagree with you when you say it's romanticized.
You said it's romanticized. I never said
no. I'm talking about you said they make the bad witches in England and America look good. They don't actually. When you watch like
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Sabrina is a good witch. I'm talking about the bad. You said when the bad guy looks cool, they don't. If you watch
Charmed.
If you watch Hercules and you see Medusa with the thingy, they make it scary.
She's bad.
They make it make it it's demonic. I'm sorry. Yes, it's entertaining.
Have you watched Shadowhunters?
Wait. They make
you know what Shadowhunters is
They
like?
make it entertaining.
Have you watched Merlin?
They make it entertaining.
I know what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, look, we ain't got long.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like we're going too
Look,
far. We're not focusing on.
Lani, chill.
We're not focusing on the actual.
I just want to say one thing here, and you've touched on this, and this is I wanted to progress the conversation a little bit. You're absolutely right, bro. If you look at even so to answer your question, I'm not an expert. I haven't delved into it deeply, but people go to see people or pray or worship or whatever, make sacrifices for positive and negative situations. So for example, 21 Savage alluded that his mum made a sacrifice to help with his immigration case. Yeah. But in what Lucas was saying, and this is not Western, this is actually, I would say,
He didn't say what the sacrifice was though, did he?
Yeah.
No, he didn't say what it was. Burn candles or something.
It already sounds bad.
It sounds scary. It sounds like
it sounds bad because we.
No, the word sacrifice is
the way we
but sacrifice could be anything, you know. So
because you could be giving
so
away
in China,
anything.
From what I've seen, I follow someone on China I see someone on Instagram who's Chinese or Korean, and there's a special time where they literally lay out a banquet of food for the ancestors who are dead, and they burn candles and leave food there. If you do that in Nigeria, they'll be like, yo, what is that? That is mad. You're saying you are laying food for ancestors.
Do you think people that like do palm reading and stuff, all of that, do you think, what does that fall under?
It's the same stuff.
It's the same
all
thing.
magic. It's tarot cards, all of that.
This is that's exactly what I'm explaining.
But a lot of people think it's bad.
Fam, okay, what I'm trying to say is, so there are people that will use it in positives, but then what I'm trying to say is that, like when you have a negative stigma attached to something, anything that falls under that bracket, nobody is looking at it in positive.
How many people read horoscopes?
So yeah,
I do.
Horoscopes,
I'm big on it as well.
What I'm saying, okay, so daily horoscope, technically, in some religions, fortune telling or reading the
reading
future
ahead
is a sin. Yeah. Cool. So what I'm trying to bring you back to is like, okay, African history, like a lot of our stuff gets wiped out, yeah? And to the point now where we even adopt the Western culture. So when I'm reading the comments in these blogs about Arddee's comments, it's a lot of people that look like myself who identify as Christian or Muslim. And it's funny to me because some have Nigerian names, which have meanings, yeah? So, and it made me think, it's like, wow, everyone thinks their way of life is right. But what did your people practice before these people brought this to you? Would you have that same stance? Because if we look about like certain Asian practices, they believe in a god called Ganesh.
Yeah.
Someone who has an elephant head and 6 arms. So I'm not mocking it. I'm literally just saying.
No, but for real.
Their faith has been able to just stay. But everything that is African, we don't know nothing about our...
Crazy stigmatized.
And just one more thing, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, I was watching like I was watching an anime cartoon the other day, a Japanese cartoon, and I was thinking, what would have happened if African culture was never really changed? Think about it, so many Africans, you're Ugandan, right? There's so many with good Christian names. In Ghana, there's so many people with good Christian names: Tom, Joseph, Peter, Paul.
Yeah, we only have Christian names.
No, I'm saying, and then if you're Muslim, right? Think about this. If you turn Muslim today, they will tell you don't really understand Islam until you learn Arabic, and then they rename you with an Arabic name. Think about that. So all your African names that have history, I'm saying it all gets wiped out.
That's why
so
it's
to learn all
crucial.
these new religions, you have to forget about who your people are. So that's why I'm saying that's how we get to a point today where people are like, who don't know about all that black magic stuff, black people saying
That's what I wanted to touch back on, because the way he sat there comfortably and was like, yeah, my mum practices witchcraft.
But not like juju.
None of us could actually ever sit there and say, my mum practices witchcraft, even if it was good. Even if your mum was trying to get you blessings in going to them good places, or it's the way, it's got such a negative connotation. It's just so negative.
witchcraft. I know this because the woman in Beverly House is a witch. She got bare backlash. The good witches get backlash.
Are you talking about a show?
No. Real Housewives is a reality show based on real people.
And she's
the
a good
woman
witch.
Is a good witch.
And what is?
She's a white woman.
And what does she do? What does she say about being a good witch?
She does spells.
Spells on who?
She talks about her crystals. She got backlash. So the point I'm trying to make is you guys making it seem like no, in the UK they make it seem like it's nice. They don't.
No, I don't think they make it seem like it's nice. I don't think they make it seem like it's nice like that.
Witches are fucked anyway.
I get you, but Lani, you see, Lani, if you go to the West End, if you get to the West End,
that's not true.
Lani,
but don't make up stuff.
Calm down.
I'm just saying, don't make it up.
If you go to the West End, he's not making it up. He's giving you.
I'm talking to you as well.
It's not made up. It's a perspective, and I'll tell you why that's the perspective.
You're making it seem like it's praise.
Lani,
it's not
listen
praise in totality,
sometimes and have a conversation.
But it's not praise in totality.
It's not praise in totality. You're absolutely right.
By white people too.
You're absolutely right. I totally agree with you. You're absolutely right. That's why you have white Christians they used to burn witches.
But they wouldn't do big films. They wouldn't do like no shows, big films on our witchcraft on mainstream TV or mainstream films. Yeah. The way they've done it, like Sabrina the Witch, Charmed. Like, we're not gonna get in our like Nigerian black films. Like, come on, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Every single form of witchcrafthood is negative.
Yes.
From the black community.
Even in the white community.
And what I'm trying.
But they're negative.
She's right. No, Lani's right.
They're negative in the white community too.
But they find a way. They find a way to make it acceptable. They find a way to make it acceptable.
I'm not arguing that there isn't. What I'm saying is, with black people, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about with my people. Everything to do with spirituality, juju, whatever, is negative. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care whether you've had good or bad. I don't give a shit. What I'm saying to you is, the fact that, again, I can't speak for the man, but how I've interpreted it, right, is, my mum does witchcraft, but not in a judge way.
Yeah.
I can only take that as, what do you mean, not in a judge way? Because
so
as far as I've grown up, and what my understanding is, and I'm very cultured, and I know who the fuck I am. I am a Nigerian boy. Like I said, Omo Dudua, Omo Ileife, Adebo Wale. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I know who I am. Right. And if I know who I am, I'm telling you that
he's talking in Afrobeat.
Trust me, that sounded like an intro.
Do you know what? There is spiritual heritage and culture that you have as black people that we're losing sight of, and that's what.
No, we lost.
No. There's some people that actually understand.
I'm sorry,
right?
Lucas.
We're losing sight of, and it's quite sad that we can see. Bro, I watched Vikings.
Oh, I love Vikings.
Stop it. Let me talk.
I'm
You
listening.
don't know what you're talking about. I watched
disagree.
Vikings.
I'm listening.
You had Ragnar, whatever. Believing in the spirits and the fairies, and he's holding these swords going to heaven, talking about he's gonna.
And they had bare voodoo. They had bare evil.
My point is, they had bare voodoo in their
evil shit. Did you watch
No.
Vikings?
I just completely disagree. In movies, they glamorize
What do you
murder.
agree with?
In movies, they glamorize murder. Are you gonna tell me that in real life they think it's cool?
You just proved my point.
They glamorize witchcraft because it's a movie.
You've just proved my point.
It is a movie.
You just proved my point.
They don't glamorize witchcraft.
You've just proved my point.
The point I think.
You just proved my point.
Can I say something?
Like, we're saying that they glamorize those things only for them.
Wait, witchcraft, voodoo, black magic in Africa, Asia, England, all of it is seen as bad.
She's right.
You're sensitive because you're black.
No, you're wrong.
Sensitive because you're
stop
black.
saying. Okay, you were right. Okay.
It's all seen as bad.
Hold on.
It's all
Here's
seen
how I'm gonna
as
fuck up this
bad.
shit.
It's all seen as
How
bad.
are monks
It's a
not
movie.
another
It's a
example of what we're
movie.
talking about?
It's a movie.
Hold on, hear me out.
Chill.
Are monks not another
seen a
example of
movie?
what we're talking about?
Yes,
Are
100%.
monks not crazy spiritual?
Chi
Do they not
energy,
do?
chi
So,
energy.
so
You're sensitive.
hold on. Are monks negative?
No.
He's right.
You're talking shit.
You're talking
and
shit.
I've had
You're
enough.
talking shit.
Oh my God, can you just both agree to disagree? Just agree to disagree.
No.
I
I know what I'm talking about.
you know what you're
You
saying.
don't know what you're saying.
Just agree to
It's
disagree.
easy to listen.
No, but what
You're
about you?
talking
What about you?
worse.
You're sensitive because you're black and this is an African issue.
No, you're
You
wrong.
need to be black. That's the problem. You need to be black. Know who the fuck you are.
but she didn't
You don't
even
know
know
what
what
you're
voodoo
talking
was.
about.
She didn't even
About
know
I'm
what
sensitive because I'm black. You need to be black.
Arrdee, look what you
You need
did.
to be black.
At the
You
end,
need to be black. How about you go know about yourself?
How can you say?
How about you go know about yourself?
How can you say because it's
How about you go know about yourself?
How can you say it's romanticized in a movie? Movies are romanticized.
You're the only
murder.
person that's used the word romanticize. Stop talking
Movies
shit,
romanticize
darling.
murder.
Oh my God.
Wait,
Movies
Lani,
romanticize murder.
You're the only
But if
person
you
that's saying
If
this.
you know that in real life people think you're bad, but in a
Guys,
movie
you're
you
proving
cool
my
when
point.
No, doesn't
They
Batman
romanticize-
kill? Doesn't Batman kill? Doesn't Batman kill?
Lani should have her
Stop
own
using a
podcast.
fucking movie.
Lani's actually
Stop
got-
using
she's
a
actually-
fucking movie.
she's got her own
Stop
point,
using a
but-
fucking movie to say
And
they
I'm not
romanticize
arguing
murder.
her point.
They
That's her
don't.
point.
I'm just saying
They
your
don't.
point's not making sense with
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying.
you-
You're talking
it's-
shit.
You're not making no
Chill,
sense.
chill, come on.
You're not
You're still shouting.
I think you just gotta agree to
Witchcraft
disagree.
in general is seen as bad.
Chill out, man. Stop this,
Africa,
man.
even in the UK.
I didn't say it isn't seen
But
as
you're
bad.
saying in a movie,
I'm
it's not seen as
saying
bad. bad.
with
It's a
Africans,
movie.
I'm agreeing with what you just said just now. That
down.
everybody sees
still
it
seen
as
as bad,
What
but-
I'm saying to you is, with Africans, it is not got the paintbrushes
Yeah.
and strokes
That's what
that
they make
the
it
others do.
acceptable.
And I've given you
Lonnie,
examples from the monks. I've given
Be
you
young.
examples
If you're
from
see
the
like now,
Vikings.
you're doing music, yeah.
I've given
and
you multiple
and you
examples.
ask your mum
country.
to pray for
So
you.
most movies are
sure,
about
let
Yeah, let me just say, let me just say what I'm
Let
saying.
Denise talk, please.
Let me just say, be young, you're doing music, yeah, and then
call me
you
Be
get your
Young.
mum,
That's some
be
madness.
young shit,
It happens.
be money.
Yeah, go on.
You're doing music.
Yeah.
Say now, this year, you start saying, Mum, please be praying for me. You know, speak to the spiritual people, like, and then it takes off, and you're, you know,
Would you not
you're
associate
charting
it?
number
Yeah.
one. You're now sitting on Zeze Millz talking, doing your interview. Would you
Amen.
comfortably say, yeah, my mum does witchcraft. She prayed for me, and I think that's how I blew. You wouldn't comfortably say it. We cannot comfortably say it. It'll be like you might tell your boys, like in secret, but
stigmatized.
you're not. It's
I would say
stigmatized. It's just got a negative
And you know what,
connotation.
you're right, yeah,
But-
and Lonnie, just to understand, it's kind of like, from my understanding of your
But-
argument, it's almost like Carnival and Glastonbury. Carnival is stigmatized for the 2 stabbings that take place.
And
in
Glastonbury,
Western
they
media.
are
And
crackheads.
Glastonbury, more people are dying, but no one says anything about it because it's like, it's Western
It's
media.
fine.
Listen, I'm
I'm
not
so
saying-
sorry.
That's a good
I'm
example,
so
by the
sorry.
way.
I'm so sorry.
I don't-
So
Okay, go
I
on.
agree with you. I agree with you because obviously you're dying on this romanticized hill, and I totally understand. Listen, once upon a time in England, they used to tie stones to women's feet and throw them in the water, and if they don't float, they're gonna say that they're a witch.
They burned
and
witches
they burn
at-
them as
they
snakes.
burned
So
them
yeah,
at-
you're absolutely
100%.
right. Christianity, the Enlightenment period is what they
100%.
called it. You're absolutely right. Over here, it's not every white person that agrees with witchcraft.
We have Guy Fawkes Day. We have weird
Yeah.
things here that it doesn't
But
even make sense.
however-
What is Guy Fawkes Day?
However,
And they
Arrdee,
glamorise
listen, let
it.
me tell you
It's
something.
a
There's
bit
so
dodgy.
many.
Halloween,
I don't
there
want
was
to
dressing
bonfire
up.
night.
There's so
Halloween.
many
Bonfire
Christian. I don't
night.
want to say.
The
So do you think
behind
Halloween
it.
is coming from a good place?
You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that 2
But
seconds.
we'll
yeah.
put our kids in
I
these
don't want to say.
costumes.
I don't want to say African or black. There's so many religious, Christian, Muslim people that fuck, you done me.
Sorry,
There's so
no,
many.
no,
There's
I'm
so many
hearing
Christian kids, Muslim kids that were not allowed to read Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's one of the top selling books.
Yeah.
But that's more so from the Western world and culture. One thing I wanted to say is that it's you're right, it's not everyone, but if you go to the West End right now, there is a show called Witched or whatever
Which
it's
is-
called.
I was about to-
and it's
I was
been
just
running
touch
for
on
years.
it.
But
It's the same
in Af and places like that, you don't really.
We don't even know what a witch is.
Yeah, you're absolutely
in a
right.
white
But
country.
No, but they've given us an image of a
Even
witch.
if you go to Nigeria, a
Guys,
lot of the
on a broom.
films,
You know they've
a
given
lot
us
of
the
the
image of
films
a
in
witch on a
Nigeria,
broom.
Nollywood
In
films,
Africa,
the
but
that's what I'm
witchcraft is
saying.
I
always
could be a witch.
negative.
They don't glamorize outside of
Guys,
it.
he's making a
A lot of the witchcraft is always depicted in a negative
By
manner.
Africans.
Yes, you're right. But that also comes from unlearning our way of life and adopting the Western way of life, which is Christian, Muslim, everything else is bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Even down to your language. I went to school in Nigeria and speaking Nigerian dialects was called speaking vernacular. In the UK, vernacular is slang. I went to a school in Nigeria where you were not taught Nigerian history or Nigerian language, but we were learning it from American textbooks and American curriculum. That's the world that we live in today. So that's why a lot of black people have this kind of negative perception of magic or the arts, if you wish. So just to summarize, I understand where Arrdee came from because his understanding of voodoo, juju, obia,
He's from
which he
Nollywood.
probably learned from his black friends, is
Yeah.
in a negative way. He's probably associated. Obia juju is just like the N-word. He probably don't want to say it and associate with it because he knows, oh shit, yeah, their man don't run with that. So that's why he said, please, I'm not saying I do juju because I know you guys don't run with that. That's what he was saying. So I understand what you were saying.
Yeah, that's what I
However,
was saying.
as black people, we were like, right, what do you mean, bro? But it's all about just, it's a miscommunication, but I understand both parts. You know what I'm saying?
I actually think, Lucas, don't get me wrong, you were making some points. All I was trying to say is I thought you were being, for me, this is just my opinion, I thought you were being a little bit extreme. That's all. So some of your points, yes, they made
Well, because
made
he's
sense.
Muslim, you're calling him extreme.
No, shut up. Some of his points to a certain degree, like I was like, yeah. But when you said the thing where it's like, oh, here, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's seen as good. That's when I was just like, come on, just say it's seen as good more, but
Yeah.
looks in totality. That's what I was. That was my problem.
Just deemed more acceptable.
I just
like-
thought you were saying it.
I think that's what he was trying to say.
I think for me, like I said, my understanding of all of this maybe will be very, very different to you guys because, again, like I said, I'm very Yoruba and I understand. And I'm not even perfect with
You know
it.
what's so funny?
Shall I give you a quick one? Shall I give you a quick one? Shall I give you a quick one? No, let me give you a quick one and you guys tell me. If
No,
you
no,
think
but
this is
again,
good
we
video or
haven't
bad.
had,
Yeah,
we
very
don't
I
well.
want to
have-
give
we
you an
don't have the
example and then you tell me
opportunity.
if it's
I like
good
the fact that you
video
said
or
that.
bad.
Go on,
We don't have the
Because-
opportunity to
Lucas, hear this
learn
one.
that. or
You're
experience
Hear this
that.
one,
You're
Lucas,
just
hear this
protecting
one. So I'm same like you. You're from like a I'm
Culture
from
tribe,
I'm from
yeah.
a very culture traditional place in Uganda. Like our tribe's called a Choli. Like we're the strongest, most cultured people still standing in Uganda. So like it's so good that I have the story. So when my dad passed, the day we was leaving the village, it's called a blessing. I kid you not. If you guys witnessed this, you would call it voodoo because it was scary. As in, they said we had to be there before the sun rises. Yeah. So that means we all got called there for 6 a.m. When we got there, my nan had some old man who's from like, I think he's like 100, deep in the sticks. He came with a chicken. Now he's saying all type of prayers, walking around us with the chicken. Like me, my son, my sister, her son, my brother. This is meant to be blessing us so we come back to London safely. But to me, that felt so off key. It just felt wrong. Like it didn't feel like a blessing. Because to me, a blessing is a reverend.
Madness, yeah.
But it could actually be a proper traditional, a Choli.
Might be your
tradition.
best blessing,
Yeah.
And that's all I'm trying to
I want
explain.
an example though. I asked you an example, you
That's
didn't give
all
me
I'm trying
one.
to
No, hold on.
explain.
But I asked
Wait,
for
we're
one.
wrapping
So do you think that like, would you like,
It could be
Guys,
good.
Is that called-
Luke-
is that
let-
good
let
food?
Lucas gone, because Lucas is going to say, well, no.
That's all I'm trying to explain.
But you didn't give me an example.
Let him finish, man.
I just
weren't
gave you
trying to
one.
say
I just
that.
gave you
But
one.
you gave me one. You didn't
Lucas,
give-
rap, say
that
what you
wasn't
want.
what he was
Let
trying
him
to say.
reply to Denise. We're not talking about your point
When I
no
asked for
more.
example earlier, he didn't give me
We're
one.
not talking about that no more. We
Okay,
moved
but
on.
he wasn't trying to say
Lucas,
that.
please, come on, Lani, man. Like,
Exactly what you said. We have such a rich culture that you can express so many different ways to getting through to God, through to your power source, or whatever. Do you get
So
what
can I
mean?
just say, yeah, and
So-
if we didn't have that, bare people, when they leave funerals, they have car crashes, things happen. And we came home safe.
It also,
So-
that's also down to your own understanding or beliefs with that, right?
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, and this is what I'm trying to explain to you, she's given the example, right? That example there, in Western civilization, it's more acceptable. With us, look, it's almost like every single time we have a cultural experience or a traditional experience, it's almost like, huh? What?
No, they wouldn't.
And my thing is, that is who you are. That is where you're from. And the more we have a negative reaction to our origins, the more of a problem we have, in my opinion. That's all I'm trying to say.
I hear you.
That's it.
I hear you, but it's also okay. Just because you're black, you're proud, you're African. It is also okay for your country, your culture to have defects. It's okay. Yeah, they can be problems.
I hear you.
There's nothing
I hear
perfect.
you.
What are you talking
But-
about?
but-
There's nothing perfect.
okay,
You're right.
What are you on about?
But that is very much down to your interpretation.
Yeah.
No, but you're saying it's perfect.
So
You're saying
don't come with
everything
your
about Africa is
Western
perfect.
mentality
It's
to
not
say,
Western
oh yeah,
mentality.
that is a defect. That's exactly why I had the energy.
Hey, listen, hey,
I
shout out
never
to
said it
Arrdee.
was a defect.
Shout out to Arrdee.
But you're saying that everything
Shout
is
out to
perfect.
Adiola.
Are you
Shout out to
perfect?
Zeze Millz.
There's nothing perfect.
Laws of attraction, prayer.
There's good and bad in
voodoo,
Africa. Get
whatever you
over
want to
it.
do, it's
There's
cool.
good and bad in Africa. Get over it. There's good and bad in
No
England.
one had that
Get over
conversation,
it.
Lani.
But it's okay for
Hey,
there
part
to
two
be bad
coming
stuff
soon,
in
guys.
Africa.
Hey, listen, abracadabra, alakazam, we're done. That's it, man.